Hey guys, welcome back to the Mets franchise. In this episode, we're finishing off the regular season as we can hopefully clinch the division title for the NL East. We're 84 and 55 as we start the month of September. Won the first two games against the Cincinnati series. That'll be our first game. Take a look at the schedule ahead. Pretty much all division games with the Cubs and Brewers sprinkled in. But we're going to only play two games this episode. I usually only play two in the final month. We're going to play this one against Cincinnati, and we always play the final game of the season, which will be against Miami. It's really us and Miami in the division race. As you can see, we have a 4-game series and then a 3-game series to end the year against them. So that will be telling. We'll check in after that first 4-game series to see what the standings are. However, as of right now, we're 4.5 games up on them. The Phillies and the Braves haven't technically been mathematically eliminated, but there's a 0% chance they're getting back in it. 18 games out of the Phillies, 19.5 of the Braves. I can't believe what happened to both of them, specifically the Braves. I don't know how they got so bad after 1 year. I must have lost a ton of guys. I didn't see that they did, but who knows. Anyway, let's get into it. First game of this episode, we got Anthony Descalfani on the mound, and he's got that ERA down to the low 4, so 4.07, and he's got 14 wins on the season. So he has not been a bad signing, although he hasn't been as flashy as Dylan Cease was last year. He's had a pretty respectable ERA, and he's won 14 games. I mean, man, he's been good. Anyway, in the first, that's Jake Fraley. Hits a double in the gap. Runner scores all the way from first. It's 1-0 Cincinnati. Next batter's Josh Naylor, hitting 303 on the season, but Descalfani gets him with a high fastball. 1-0 Reds in the first. Going up against the former Dodger pitcher Bryce Miller, who's having himself a nice little season in Cincinnati. 27 starts. He's got a 3.38 ERA, so he's doing solid. In the first, 2 out, nobody on for Kyle Tucker, and Tucker goes no doubt. It's been a while since he's hit a no doubt home run on video here. That one's way out of here, almost out of the stadium, into the second deck in right, as that was a long moonshot, long and high moonshot for Kyle Tucker. His game's tied at 1, his 26th of the season, so he can potentially hit 30. We will go over everyone's final stats at the end of this video. We'll play the last game against the Marlins, hopefully win the division, and we will see everyone's final stats once the year is over. Anyway, in the third, it was second and third, a 1 out for Tyler Stevenson. He's having himself a good year. It's an RBI, 2 RBI double down the right field line. It's 3-1 Cincinnati. Bottom half of the third is Kyle Tucker with another chance to give us some runs back, and he's going to hopefully do just that. That ball's hitting the gap. There goes the right fielder, but he makes the catch. Jake Fraley is there in the gap to make the play. It's still 3-1. In the fourth, it's Elly De La Cruz. He smacks one to left center. That one's going off the wall. Another run's going to score. 4-1 Cincinnati in the fourth. And we're down by 3 early on. Descalfani, 4 earned through 4 innings so far. Bottom half, it's Pete Alonso trying to get us going. He's going to line one to left field. It's going to be a base hit. Hopefully the start of a rally with nobody on, nobody out to lead off the 4th inning. Next batter, Francisco Alvarez. Been going the opposite way a lot, and he's going up the middle this time, so he's been having a nice swing this season. His average is way higher than I would have thought. I think we talked about it last episode. His power numbers aren't quite what you would want, but they're not terrible, and his average is leading the way. Anyway, next up, Francisco Lindor. He continues his great season. It's a base hit up the middle. Pete Alonso rounds third. He'll score. Alvarez goes first to third. It's first and third. Nobody out here in the fourth. Next batter, Luis Robert. What can he do? He pops up to right field. That's not going to get a run home. Shallow fly out with Francisco Alvarez at third. That won't be a run. So, 1 out. Next batter, Brett Beatty. He's batting .302 this year. He's doing pretty solid, but that's not going to do it. Elly De La Cruz to, I believe that's Ronnie Mauricio, the former Met, up the middle, double play. And just like that, first and third, nobody out. We don't score another run. That would be it for Descalfani. Nice strikeout there to get out of a jam. 5 innings, 4 earned for him. Not great, but not terrible. We're still in the game. In the fifth, it's Jonathan India against his old team. Remember, as part of that Ronnie Mauricio trade, traded him and Vientos for Jonathan India, and he's going to hurt his former team right there. Hanging slider was way, way gone as Jonathan India smashes that one, makes his former team pay, and it's a 1-run game just like that. 14th of the season for Jonathan India. Here is Ronnie Mauricio. I figured I had to show him. He's batting .226 this season. He doesn't do anything special here, but just wanted to show him. He actually didn't start this game. He came in as a defensive replacement. I think their second baseman may have got hurt during a quick sim or something. But anyway, in the sixth, We got the tying run at second, 2 outs for Luis Robert, and he's going to fly out to right. So we've had our chances to try and tie this game up. We just haven't been able to come through. First and third, no out. Now we had a runner on second. In the 8th, we have first and second, 1 out. Francisco Alvarez hits a base hit, but it's too shallow in the right field for the runner to score. So we got bases loaded to 1 out. Another golden chance for us to come through and tie this ballgame. Francisco Lindor already 2 for 3 on the day, but he strikes out. Hector Neris came in, and it's a beautiful splitter to strike Lindor out. Next batter is Luis Robert, and I think that was maybe just a panic swing with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Luis Robert strikes out swinging. India would be the last hope for us against his old team, but he's going to fly one in the shallow center, and the center fielder will go over and make the play. The Reds win this one 4-3. We had plenty of chances to tie this game or take the lead. We just couldn't do it, and we lose to Cincinnati. Ron Mauricio gets win, but we won that series. Remember, we won the first 2. Let's jump ahead, like I said we would, to past the Miami series, that first Miami series. We actually had a great month of September. We swept the Marlins in that 4-game series to give us 95 wins, and that should all but clinch the division. Let's check the standings after that sweep of Miami. And yes, we have clinched the NL East. The New York Mets are the National League East champions this season, and we will be going to the postseason. We will not be playing in that wild card round, just to say that. We're still fighting for the first or the second seed with the Dodgers, so this game still has maybe some significance. The very last game of the season, and look who's back. Corbin Burnes. He was hurt opening day with a head fracture, out for about 6 months. He makes his return, and we would hopefully have him on a limit because, he hasn't pitched since opening day, but he's been rehabbing. I mean, it's his head injury. His arm's been okay, right? We'll go with that. Anyway, it wouldn't be game 162 if Brandon Nimmo didn't hit a leadoff home run. Remember, he did that last season and then proceeded to do it the first 2 playoff games, or 3 playoff games, whatever it was. Brandon Nimmo, leadoff home run, his 31st of the season. So, assuming he doesn't hit another one, he'll finish with 31. So, leadoff home run from Brandon Nimmo. He's not a leadoff hitter. Jonathan India just got the day off today, but anyway, leadoff home run for Nimmo. Corbin Burnes would give up a moonshot opposite field to O'Neal Cruz. That was blasted. Opposite field, too, 399. What a shot from Cruz. His 26th of the season. So Corbin Burnes gives up a run. This is tied in the second inning. Other than that run he gave up, though, he would pitch brilliantly. A lot of strikeouts in this one. Brian De La Cruz goes down swinging on a nice curveball to end the third. Going to jump forward a little bit to the bottom of the third. We got first and second, 1 out for Kyle Tucker. He hits a base hit up the middle. Runner's rounding third, and he will score. Mets have the lead back 2-1, and the other runner goes first to third. Still in the third inning, it's next batter, Pete Alonso. He's going to rip one to left. It's going to be caught, but should be plenty enough for, believe that's Brandon Nimmo. Yep, that's Brandon Nimmo on the bases. He's tagging up. He's scoring 3-1 Mets after 3. In the fourth, Brett Beatty up with the runner on first, lefty, and that ball smoked into the gap. Runner had a head start, so he should be scoring easy, and it's off the top of the wall and gone. Brett Beatty home run, his 17th of the year, which, if you remember, he was hurt for about 2 months, and he still finished the season with 17 home runs. So, good to see Brett Beatty doing solid. He had a high average, too, so I'm not going to complain. He just needs to stay healthy, man. But anyway, still in the fourth, Kyle Tucker's going to come through the base hit, 7-1. Mets at this point. In the seventh, it would end up being 7-2, but this would be the end of Corbin Burnes' night. He actually went 7 innings, only 2 earned. So both starts this season, he's pitched brilliantly. They've both been against the Marlins on opening day and on the very last day of the season. So Corbin Burnes is ready for the playoffs, though. He just tossed 7 beautiful innings. I think we start him right away in the playoffs. Why not, right? He's amazing. We're going to have a nice rest because we won't play the wild card round. So I think Corbin Burnes is ready to go. As we win this one, 7-2 would be the final. Good to see Corbin Burnes back. That is like a huge boost. That's bigger than any trade we could have made for the playoffs. We got 4 very, very solid pitching options for the playoffs now. As you can see, we clinched with 99 wins. We finished with 10 games up on Miami. Ended up not really being that close as they went 2-8 in their last 10, the Marlins. But they still made the wild card, so good for them. The Pirates come out of nowhere and win the NL Central. I have to go back when I showed some stats. I think it was standings in either the last episode or the episode before. But I don't think the Pirates were really even in it. That's kind of surprising. So, wow, the Pirates winning the NL Central. That's crazy. C wins the NL West. It is the Dodgers. They only won it by 2 games. But if you could tell there, we are going to get the first seed. We finished with 99 wins, best in the National League. The 2 seed will be the Dodgers with 94. Diamondbacks were a good team, but they're going to win. Well, not going to win, but they're going to be in the wild card with the Marlins. And the Padres also get a spot, too. They have a good team on paper, so it'll be interesting to see what those 3 teams can do in the first round, if any of them can get a win. In the American League, of course, it's the Tampa Bay Rays winning the AL East. Who else would it possibly be? The Orioles and Blue Jays both made the wild card, though. Blue Jays with only 84 wins get a wild card spot. That's kind of crazy. In the Central, it's the Guardians with 94 wins, win commandingly the AL Central. So Dylan Cease will be in the playoffs. Maybe we'll see him in the World Series. You never know. The Rangers, though, most stacked team on paper, 105 wins. Wow, crazy. So they have the best record in all of baseball. We have the second best record in all of baseball, though, with 99 wins. Very impressive. Angels, Orioles, Blue Jays in the AL wild card on that side. I'll show you the bracket at the end. We did have some Gold Glove winners. Surprisingly, Francisco Alvarez won a Gold Glove. He won it in 2024, too. I didn't even realize that. But yes, it's the second Gold Glove win of the series for Francisco Alvarez. And Kyle Tucker, with his first year in the Mets, won a Golden Glove. Not sure how. He only had 4 outfield assists, and Verdugo had 14. But hey, whatever. We'll take it. Let's see how everyone did. Brandon Nimmo finished with 284 and 31 bombs. By the way, you're not going to see Jonathan India in this one because he actually was hurt to end the week. But he'll be back in the playoffs. Don't worry. He'll be back game 1 in the playoffs. Kyle Tucker just missed 30 home runs, but he had 29, and he had 92 ribbies, and he batted 281. Brilliant. Worth every penny. Pete Alonso finished with 38, so he just missed out on 40. 110 RBIs, and he only batted 228 average-wise, so kind of low. Honestly, want a little bit better, and he could be MVP caliber. Francisco Alvarez, like we talked about, 256, but he only had 22 home runs. His power dropped all the way from 99 to 92. A little concerning, I guess. Francisco Lindor has been the surprise of the season. 34 home runs for Lindor. Where did all this power come from Francisco Lindor? I don't know, but we're not complaining. He moved all the way up to the 5th spot in the lineup. Everyone's basically going to move down, and India's going to lead off, though, for the playoffs. So Luis Robert had a 30 home run season, 32 homers, 81 ribbies, 266. Fantastic season. We got one more year under contract for him, and then we got to make a tough decision. Brett Beatty, again, for missing 2 months, he did very solid. 289, 17 homers, 49 ribbies. I just imagine if he would have been there all season, he probably would have had a really, really nice season. Soler, kind of disappointing. 240, 17 homers, 69 RBIs. This isn't terrible, but you want more from your DH. He'll be gone after this year. I kind of can't wait. And Will Wilson, like we said, Jonathan India, he's just on the IL, but he's coming back. He's literally going to be activated before the wild card round even starts. So don't worry, he's going to be on the playoff roster. We'll see him next episode against whoever we play. At bench guys, you can see no one did anything special. Ryan O'Hearn hit 10 home runs for only having 133 at-bats on the season. That's not bad. He was a good little lefty option on the bench that we had. Now, maybe should we start him instead of Jorge Soler at DH against righties in the playoffs? Something to really consider. And we'll see. Luke Ritter will not be on the team. He'll not be on the playoff roster. Jonathan India will be back, like we said. Anyway, our rotation looks like this. If you remember, Corbin Burns got hurt early in the season. That's why Logan Gilbert's in that A spot. But he finished with a 3.62, so you get that ERA down from when we traded for him. It was like 3.9 something. Now it's 3.62. Corbin Burns obviously only pitched those 2 games, but he did brilliantly in both against the Marlins. 14 Ks and 14.1 innings. Julio Urias, his ERA wasn't the best. It ended up being 3.7. Still solid. I mean, I'm not complaining. 15-5, though. We'll take that. Good year from Urias. David Peterson, if you remember, he had second best ERA in the National League at the All-Star break. He finished with a pretty good low ERA, 3.29. And Descalfani actually finished with the sub-4 ERA. So even though all year he was really flirting with in the 4s, he had a good end of the season, got it to sub-4, and he got 15 wins on the year. I think he was a good signing for us. Our bullpen did really good this year. Stephen O'Kurt had a sub-2 ERA in 42 innings. Very good bounce-back season for him. Clark Schmidt was fantastic. We claimed him off waivers on opening day when Corbin Burns went down. He did great for us both in the rotation and in the bullpen. His 12-14 record, though. Although I know record doesn't mean much, but like the argument I made last episode, Descalfani was winning game. Clark Schmidt wasn't really. Anyway, Ron Marinaccio had a great season. Loaizaga got his ERA down to sub-4 as well. Bullpen was just fantastic. Dylan Coleman ended up with a 0.4 ERA. He only pitched in 22.2 innings. He never got in the sim. That would really make me mad. But either way, whatever he pitched, sub-1 ERA is kind of crazy. So he'll be relied on heavy in the postseason. Scott Barlow only pitched 28.2. and he had an ERA of 4.08, so he wasn't terrible, but he stopped being our setup guy at the deadline after we traded for Andres Munoz as well. 2.55, very, very solid. Whip under 1. Fantastic. We're not complaining with that. And our closer, Edwin Diaz, had an even better year, 2.20, 61.1 innings pitched, 79 Ks. Good season yet again from Edwin Diaz. So here's the bracket going in to the postseason. We are the 1 seed. Like we said, we're awaiting the winner of Miami and Arizona out in Arizona. So we'll see. Arizona, the defending champs. Miami, who we've already played a couple times this season. We beat them every time on video. We've handled them well, so we're kind of rooting for Miami to win. I'd like my chances a little bit better. I'm not scared of anyone, though. We had a really good team this year. On the other side of the NL, it's Pittsburgh hosting San Diego. Wow, so weird to say that. Pittsburgh hosting San Diego in the wild card. Winner versus the Dodgers. In the American League, you got Cleveland and Toronto squaring off to go to Tampa Bay. And the winner of the Angels and Baltimore will go to the first seed, Texas, yet again. So Texas and Tampa Bay always in it. I feel like they're destined to get to the ALCS yet again. They were there last year. And I think, who won? Tampa won last year, but then Arizona beat them in about 5 games, if I remember correctly. Anyway, that's the bracket. Next episode, we will be in the NLDS, playing either Miami or Arizona. Don't worry, I will put that out in the thumbnail who we play, so you won't have to guess. But yes, that will be up hopefully in a couple days. I won't be able to get it up tomorrow most likely, but it'll be up in a couple days. Playoffs are back, baby, and with the first seed, we got a ton of expectations. How far do you think this Mets team is going to go? Let me know in the comments below. See you guys there in the NLDS.